Hello, and welcome to the new feature summary for June 2020, Part 2. We'll begin here by talking about visit options. This is a section in Counts that was previously known as visit checklist. So let's jump there straight away. So under the administration option, under visit setup, you can choose visit options. This is an area that if you haven't viewed in a while, I would recommend that you pop in at your convenience. This is primarily going to be for providers to design what information is required in order for a counselor to automatically consider a patient visit to be complete. So you may want to review that. There are also other features here as far as whether you wish to have the scrolling toolbar available. You can email alerts if you haven't completed patient visits. There's also the ability to have restrictions on when reports can be sent. For example, saying that the visit needs to be completed in order to be sent, or that it needs to be locked, or both, in order to enable the faxing feature to send out that report. So there's some other controls you can have in place. There's a new feature that we just added called appointment arrival. And what this will do is when the appointment status is set to arrive. So patient's ready to be seen. Typically for an office staff, we'll click arrive. That of course will send the arrival pop-up message to the provider. It also will automatically create a patient visiting counselor. Okay, the primary use for this is when people are seeing a lot of patients, they may not be writing their chart note immediately, but they still want to be able to track what chart notes do they need to write. Okay, so by creating the visit automatically, it's basically saying, hey, let's have that visit, already created, which potentially makes it easier for the providers then to track this. So, for example, if I go back to the dashboard, we can look at the incomplete patient visits, right? Or we could look at all of our visits, right? So even if we hadn't completed the chart notes for these, we'd be able to see the patients that we saw in this case for the last 7 days. Now, right now, when the when the visit is created after clicking arrive, the status will be set as none. This is something we will be changing with our next release. Typically, probably about 2 weeks. And then we will be setting it as incomplete. So if you're testing this feature out and you say, it'd be better if the visit was set as incomplete, just so you know that's on its way. For now, though, the visit status will be set as none. Okay? All right, so let's jump to the next one here. Billable tracking. This is the ability to get some really detailed information about which visits should be billed or not. So in fact, let's just jump into a patient visit here. I'm going to go through here and into the chart notes area. Okay, in the chart notes area, there's now a button here called Billable, right? So if this was a simple clean and check, under warranty, no charge, when you finish with your chart note, you would simply uncheck Billable. Right? There's obviously quite a few things you can do here in different aspects as far as setting the visit checklist status, which relates to our previous point there, setting the appointment status and any related tags, right? That can all be done. This is in there too. The goal here, of course, is to enable you to do more within the chart note area and then be able to track that thereafter. So, for example, here, if I set this as not billable, we go back to the main screen, what we're going to see is that this is not set as billable. Now, this would not be a great example. This would typically be something that would be billable, right? This was a full audio. So in that case, we'd want to leave it as billable. But it does enable you to set that very quickly. And then, of course, down the road, what it means is that you can track this. And if you haven't explored this feature yet, I know we've talked about this in Feature Fridays and a few other instances, the appointment lifecycle summary has a ton of power, right? It really helps you find what may have been missed. And here's one of the examples, right, where I'm rapidly creating chart notes. Some of them should be billed out, some should not. But oops, we missed that. Maybe I didn't create a super bill, and so then the rest of my team didn't know to bill the patient. Okay, but by keeping track of what's billable, what's not billable, it lets you look in the appointment lifecycle summary and right away say, okay, are there instances that we missed? Okay, so one thing to just kind of watch for, and then of course track down the road as well. All right, the last thing on the list here, a quick one, there's now the ability to see the scheduled length of appointment from the patient administration screen. So nothing too mind-blowing there, but just to show you where that is, within the Appointments Visits tab, there now is going to be an option here, so saying 60 minutes. So this is a 60-minute appointment starting at 10:30. So that just is a little visual reference as to the length of the appointment from within the patient profile itself. All right. Of course, with any of these, please let us know if you have any questions, if we can assist in any way. Give us a call, email us, live chat us. We're always happy to help. Thank you all so very much for your wonderful ideas and suggestions. Keep them coming, and as always, take care.